Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another amazing, riveting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master, your guide into the wondrous world of Campaigns 2. 1 vs 1 is what waits for here on Crossroads in the south. We got Deadgame fighting for the Wehrmacht to Germany and Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 2nd Panzerdivision in the north, we got NosMarkov fighting for America, freedom, democracy, tasked with clearing out the sector held by the Nazis. We got Jaeger armor, lightning war, and assault support here versus heavy cavalry, recon support, and mechanized company with double infantry Panzerfaust versus triple infantry. Gunner the MD42 here for Deadgame, NosMarkov aiming for riflemen, also knowing up, he's setting up some defense areas around the Carve Point here in anticipation of a German assault. He's already seen through Deadgame's endgame, or mid-game, or early game. Either way, he's sort of seen through him somewhat. Grenadiers arriving there soon enough. MD42 moving eastwards. We got a bit the same here though from Deadgame. In this case, trying to cover his Carve Point. So both players very concerned about the Carve Point. And in this case, Deadgame's taking a few more measures here, since in some ways has a few more other sort of vulnerabilities. So there you go. We'll probably get more Grenadiers for Deadgame and more rifling from NosMarkov. Neither in that regard being any sort of massive surprise if they're going to aim for more infantry in the early game, obviously. Rifling about, they got the point here, got the point there, going in this case interesting enough for the Carve Point first before heading for here, possibly trying to check out if the Germans are going for the fuel point, but of course also denying the use of strawberry to the German spy, wiring it off. Cheeky NosMarkov. I mean, he's clearly a bit paranoid about the Germans here. My god, we gotta wire off everything or the Germans might appear from it. Calm down, Captain. No. No. Not after Paraguay. There's no Germans there. Totally is. Anyways, heavy cavalry there for NosMarkov, which of course means his riflemen can also lay down sandbags and such. And mines as well. Sniper on there for Deadgame. Actually, Sniper isn't interesting, of course, if he's going to try and play the long game there, suppose the Sniper works out. Triple rifle up for NosMarkov, sandbags up there to help defend the fuel point, grabbing the point here. Very slow build there. Moving up westwards, see we got tons more wire here for NosMarkov. He is absolutely paranoid. He wants to wire off everything almost, which is certainly not something you see very often. I do think like he might be slightly slowing down his resource income, because of that. Then again, Crossroads is one of those larger maps you can get away with it, and because there aren't more points on it, meaning you just have a decent side of the map anyways, you're going to get a reasonable amount of fuel. It's only one of the fun things about Crossroads. It also means if you get a map advantage in Crossroads, it can very quickly snowball because you're just going to get a lot more fuel than your opponent. So that's only something to keep in mind there. But there you go, Sniper there ready to kill some armies, and there you go. One Yankee there with his head full of lead. Grenadiers moving up on the other side before dealing with the rifle squad. Moving up on the other side before they got more pioneers moving up there. Grenadiers for Deadgame. Machine gun that's going to have to fall back soon. Rifle the repulsor with heavy casualties. Only 2 men survived this violent encounter with the Wehrmacht. And there you go. I feel like here Deadgame got a bit too confident. NosMarkov still rifling taking heavy down from the pioneers and the Grenadiers. Sniper of course continues to just take away there at the Yankees. Like a targeting range, except the targets are alive and speak American. So there you go, not 5 kills so far. The rifle pushed back. NosMarkov taking a heavy bleeding in the process. I mean, he pushed back some units, but he didn't actually gain any ground for it, meaning he rather paid a higher price as the Germans now can push through here, and most of the swords of course are on the back foot. Take it from NosMarkov, he's going to hit hard with hard, go for the lieutenant and aggressive build there, or further aggressive build after his wired off. He sort of switched it a bit right there. You'd figure maybe then go for the captain again a bit slower, but of course also might fit a bit more his otherwise erstwhile playstyle of just laying down so much, but why, you wouldn't believe it unless you saw with your own eyes. Mortar out here, quickly encountering the German army and the Sniper there. Finding in fact he's put his mortar too far ahead and has absolutely no infantry screen. He actually is closer to getting it, but in this case Deadgame falls back. Decides he has other places to be, other Americans to shoot, and Deadgame's also, pretty tough on the wire. Well, that's probably one thing that stands out here. Both players are pretty insistent on barbed wire. Not something you see a lot of, but it's very interesting to know. Wiring off cover, wiring off pathways, wiring off shrubbery. There's just nothing that doesn't necessarily warrant being wired off. Lieutenant out there, we got rifle moving up the mortar support. Rifle digging in here. Some infantry could do a bit of problems there for NosMarkov. Deadgame yet to choose a doctrine. Deadgame has tagged up though, they need to get something up for it, and he'll probably need some anti-tank guns or Panzerschrecks or a lot of 2-2-2s to counter whatever NosMarkov's going to throw at him. Because that's not going to be like me, because there you go, giving this taking a nice hit from mortar. Good work there by NosMarkov. Right from there as Pioneers. Now moving up though. He's going to get awfully close. It feels a bit risky there for Deadgame. And the second Panzer Division here going to do something that they can as NosMarkov's men willfully throw them up towards the centre here. Machine gun is in the east, so you can't really sort of halt such a spirited assault here from NosMarkov. And the 3rd Armoured Division, I don't think in the divisional name. Back here, the troops not really much there for Deadgame. No medic bangers up, and certainly no light mechanized company. Gonna need to retreat pretty fast in the face of NosMarkov's violent and very spirited assault. Bunker up there, like to make a nice company, the really should be full up there for Deadgame as well, and certainly a doctrine shouldn't be helpful. I mean, if you sort of consider the old situation, I'm guessing assault support. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of gun, it is really, I think, get much out of the G43s, and artillery fuel officer could back him up in some ways, plus all the blitzes, resources, air support, and of course the Tiger tank. So it might sort of obviously fit the Deadgame's sort of, shall we say, opening here better. Half with it for NosMarkov, machine there getting shot, immediately killing the gunner. So NosMarkov leading in with some aggressive pushes against NosMarkov. Now the front line has crumbled up a bit. Deadgame was not quite fast enough to sort of pull up any sort of thing from his light mechanized company, and that's rather allowed NosMarkov to pull off a bit ahead here. He's going for the 2-2, and that's going to struggle a bit with the half track unless he gets small or gets out some other sort of supporting elements. Troops are hitting enforcing sniper there with 15 kills, so he's definitely having an impact there on NosMarkov. 16 kills actually, half fate of X-2. Troops healing enforcing, machine gun needs to get back in action. Half track there mobilised for NosMarkov and the 3rd Armoured Division. Speeding down the road. Lieutenant going for the fuel point there, good play. Good play. We got that 2-2 mobilised, the Leichter Panzer Speerwagen, multi on the centre victory point, now moving eastwards. He's likely going to lose the fuel point, so that's going to mean NosMarkov gets a bit of a lead. In fact, thanks to that, and of course the rest of the map he's controlling, he's actually almost got a close to 3 times advantage in fuel than his opponent in terms of per minute. That's a pretty solid lead there for NosMarkov, and certainly something there that Deadgame's going to have to struggle here a bit with. Heading for the fuel point here. Need to move forward. He also, I think, needs to begin to put more pressure on the west side. I mean, Deadgame's play, I would say, is rather defensive in style and nature, which is always something I find to be rather risky as the Wehrmacht. Since that's not necessarily where you actually excel in long-term games with your small infantry squads, and absolutely no way replenishing them properly like you could with the Wehrmacht companies when you had the purchase veterancy, you get Knights Cross Soldiers and all that, and here you don't have that, so really a long-term game can be very disadvantageous for you as the Wehrmacht if you're not careful. Rifling about, the mortar exposed, could probably nab that one. Pack forward and away there for Deadgame. Rifling up, pick on this having away. We got the 2 trying to take out the half to there by attacking ground. In this case, he's not quite fast enough. He's busy ending a lot of things, missing shots. There you go. He tried to get out the mortar, not a bad idea, but the rifling and the half track rather ruined the idea there for Deadgame. But if you can steal it, that'd be amazing here, and of course be a bit of a problem for NosMarkov, which would be a bit of a no, retreat. Looks like he realised he was about to sacrifice a gun. He's got to get out the mortar, which would cost him light machine gun, and certainly would not be worth it. Sniper there falling back as well. Not the best of engagements there. Machine gun hanging about, holding up the east side. NosMarkov still training control here. Pack 40 has arrived to help deal with the half track. There we go, straight into the half track there. Some heavy fire there between the two, but the 2-2-2 ends up paying the higher price here and is almost taken out. He's actually fortunate enough to get away there. And now we got the machines about to get hammered here by the half track. Deadgame, I feel like needs a bit more infantry. 19 kills close to Veteran 2 there on the sniper, the Scharfschütze. 2-2 got away from that. Machine retreating here. Once more fuel is cut off. Once more resources are being denied to Deadgame, who's now getting nothing out of the map. He definitely, again, I feel like needs to be more aware of the rest of the map as well. He might have to consider fuel cache or support simply for the upper blitz to just provide him with extra resources to sort of help deal with the advantage NosMarkov is getting in resources. Vets need 2 there, 22 kills and sending explodes around there. Also known as the B-Patronen, which stands for Beobachtungspatronen, which stands for observation round. Meaning that was actually a round not meant for just exploding people, but actually for highlighting targets, I imagine. Fun fact there. Didn't get the half-track though, a bit of bad luck there for Deadgame. Going for Panzergrenadier, that's definitely, I think, going to help out a lot. There's some more aggressive infantry elements there, noting NosMarkov's loading a disgusting amount of ammunition. Seems like NosMarkov's realised he's actually missed out a bit there. He could have at least mining with some of them, but it's just seemingly been caught up in other things. So, potentially something that could help Deadgame out a tad until, of course, all the bars hit him. And it's going to be all of the bars. Destroying the Simex over the Pack 40, though of course it also gives away his Pack 40 is, so theoretically NosMarkov can use that information to play around. Of course he could just bait him into thingies there and here and then in here. So there's some potential mind games there as well. Wiring off more again. He's very much trying to create a box. The problem is, of course, it concedes most of the map to NosMarkov, meaning he gets more resources, and that's sort of the dangerous sort of playstyle you can end up with if you're not careful. Particularly on a map like this, where again the map just has more points than the average one, so you can really just end up giving up on a lot more resources, which is again, as a rule of thumb, not what you want to be doing as the Wehrmacht. But there you go, rifling to infantry and the sniper here, heavy damage being inflicted. NosMarkov there getting 29 versus Deadgame's 20 fuel. They might be able to slightly catch up, but still he needs to grab more points badly. Probably should be taking up at some point. Of course, NosMarkov's going to be taking ahead of him if he actually gets around to do it. He's got the resources, but similar like with the Bars, it seems like NosMarkov isn't quite paying attention there. Bazooka teams up. NosMarkov really wants to halt any German vehicles in case they appear. Deadgame, still not really much happening there. Beyond some movements here. There you go, hits in the half track, but not quite enough there to really stop it. Rifle moving up here towards the fuel pump there, sneaking up here with the Pioneers. Could use the 2 to bag up here in the west, to be honest. And close to getting the half track here though. Another miss there. He's really close to getting it. But the packs of this range, and also because he's tank ground, not quite hitting. If you use the 2 to spot ahead, you might be able to work out something, but so far it's just not quite working out there for Deadgame. Or is he just trying to clear out this? Hard to say. NosMarkov there's taking up, and Deadgame is, well, not. So, Deadgame soon to be hit with tanks. I mean, NosMarkov could theoretically try to roll for the Pershing, which would be highly inadvisable because that would just mean doing nothing for ages, since he's only at 5 command points and the Pershing is 13. Which can allow Deadgame to get that. And there we got a fuel cache up in the car point. Definitely a nice idea here. But it's going to be halted here. He's going to have to cancel it. Otherwise, again, I like the idea. It sort of tries to help deal with the disparity between resources and the fact that Deadgame has been cut off a lot from his resources. Also makes it harder for NosMarkov to harass him. So fuel cache is a really good idea, though. He could also just go for the double blitz, which can lock down the point, but can just give him more resource, and particularly just park it, say, around here at the edge of the fuel sector and just get more fuel up. Machine gun bug up is actually a very nice choice there by Deadgame, so it makes it hard again for NosMarkov to harass him on about. Of course, the half track can deal with it. So we can clearly see that Deadgame is trying to, take some measures here to sort of survive, but still I feel it needs to be a bit more aggressive as NosMarkov needs to try and push him more to the defensive. NosMarkov here, so far no tanks. I mean, he can try and stall for the Pershing, but it would be silly. I mean, the Sherman 2 right now could do a lot there. Deadgame, of course, is quite aware this is going for more Pioneers than a Pack 40. Probably Pioneers to help, mine and repair stuff, and of course build fuel cache, and of course the Pack as well for the tanks. Cancel the Pioneers, goes for a sniper, having lost the previous one there. Two fixed up, probably should get that bunker fixed up as well. Sherman Leather for NosMarkov and the 3rd Armoured Division. Moving into the rest of the Grenadiere. Back here, reinforcement. Looking for targets here. Fixing up the bunker. Sniper number 2 out, so it indicates he very much wants to be part of his strategy. There you go, half chicken work on west. Sherman almost done it from NosMarkov. Bit of quality, MD42 setting up again. Deadgame playing very defensively. He's trying to stall, but the magical question, of course, is what is he stalling for? Tigers? He's got 2 doctrines with it, but again, could be doing a bit more with if he chose the doctrines to direct, you know, make some decisions. There, but no, looks like he's going to go for medium armor. In my opinion, I think much healthier. Rather than trying to stall for a Tiger. But he might have to go for some Stoogs here. But of course, Panzerforce can work. We've got to push up his gun decent rifle in there. He is starting to get more aggressive. He's trying to push back harder here at NosMarkov. I said he always fully effectively, but at least he's trying, which is the important bit here. Almost getting his Sherman in the air, but Sherman escapes here. You could of course also just throw down smoke to be extra safe, but NosMarkov apparently decided that wasn't worth it. Oh dear, machine gun there, saving the sniper there just in the nick of time, but the other lieutenant moving up here. Fortunately for him, we got no grenades up here for NosMarkov, though we do have the smoke from the heavy cavalry, and certainly should clue that man or Deadgame into what sort of doctrine NosMarkov's gone for if you hadn't any clue about it before. Sherman have to then getting the two pack forwards moving up the smoke course, make it a bit hard to use. MD40 needs to retreat, needs to get troops up to help, and again carve point hit once more. The lack of the fuel cache there certainly doesn't protect. And there you go, machine gun what? Nasty loss there for Deadgame for the German army. Sherman moving up, need to get this pack forward to deal with that, but the pack's also suffering into the riflemen, lacking into support here in the east. Half check moving forward, second is moving in, Panzer gun is moving in, we got the reaction there, riflemen there being blasted, pack 40 there almost, well, in fact is dead. Intense fighting around the carve point here, Deadgame trying to make his way through this wall of American firepower. And there you go, gets the half tank, a small bit of relief here for Deadgame versus NosMarkov. Sherman there taking heavy damage, NosMarkov needs to be careful, could risk losing it. And he loses it. Clearly here NosMarkov got a bit too confident and Deadgame punished him very hard. Of course, can Deadgame capitalise on the damage he just inflicted? I mean, he can theoretically just recruit the weapons, whereas of course NosMarkov can't recruit the wrecked tanks and vehicles. God damn it, Carl, I need you to get in there and recruit that tank. It's on fire, Sarge! It's on fire! I don't care. It can't drive. I don't care. Got the pack back in action. Deadgame there prioritising the possibility of another tank already hitting. And with the resource NosMarkov out, it's not far off. In this case, he's obviously going to go for the Pershing now. More ponies for Deadgame, probably help recruit the weapons and part of there, and all wants to do other stuff. Another push here, the machine gun back in action just in time here for Deadgame to withstand another withering assault there from NosMarkov and the 3rd Armoured Division. Smoke's going off again, machine gun needs to reposition. And if he can get out some armor soon, that might also be beneficial for Deadgame, but it kind of is starting to look like he's going to have to go for the MD or the Tiger tank here, sort of as, you know, an emergency measure until he can get up the Suprema Court. Oh, well, NosMarkov super close to it. We got Hillary called in here, I believe, by the Major. Yes, indeed. Pack 4, they're going to be positioned. Machine gun retreating. At least the machine gun bunker is keeping the victory point and the fuel point safe, but that's about it here for Deadgame and the German army. The 2nd Panzer Division. A bit more rational West, I think, would be great here. I mean, right now, theoretically, he has a larger force than NosMarkov. The problem is just NosMarkov is just keeping up some effective assault and pressure there that Deadgame is only focusing on this small part, and again, rather than trying to hit elsewhere, you know, to deny resources and make 2 points to NosMarkov. So yeah, there definitely needs to be some more pressuring there, some more harassment, some more engagement against NosMarkov, particularly before NosMarkov's Pershing hits, because it's going to get a bit harder when that's out. Pioneers on the move, though, they really should be getting out of Suprema course. Well, we got March with his flamethrowers. He's not taking any chance with NosMarkov being down mines. Good work. 300 points left there for Deadgame and the German army. NosMarkov over there with his mortar in back. Ambulance there supporting a more aggressive setup. There we go, Pershing up from NosMarkov, 3rd Armoured Division, which is really the only armoured division to receive the Pershings. Little fun fact there. Never many arrived to the front line. There's an additional note. Before the war was over, and once the war was over, most of them lasted only a short time before they were basically withdrawn. Some would try to upgrade to the Patton tank, and most would just skip for that. Got the Pershing forward, T-22 falling back, the other snub opening up, need to be careful here. Pershing reports by the Pack 40s, providing some admirable defense there against the armies. Big push here from NosMarkov against smoke screen down. At least possibility there. Machine gun there that's already forced away. So it's not really, he's got a lot of firepower direct to stop all of his infantry. See, because the Pershing is just blasting his infantry away there. Machine gun bunker can help from, of course, this machine gun bunker in the east is about to get knocked down. He can't get the packs close to it because the infantry is pretty much preventing them from moving ahead. Pioneers retreating from the west might be the diploma, of course, finally going to build this. He really should have soon, or again, he's planning for the Tiger tank. Anyways, we'll see what happens here. Troops are pressed. If he's not going to build it, though, he should have just kept, moving up westwards for the Pioneers, maybe had the 2-2 draw up to meet them instead. He needs to be counter-attacking fast rather than just allowing the snipers to somehow take on the entire American army on his own. But the bunker finally bit the dust. I would say I think did pretty well there for Deadgame. Machine gun bunkers, I do feel like tend to get a bit overlooked. Hell, I overlooked them. Until he called in here, very cheeky move there. Pretty much keeps him inside his base again. He could easily just move up westwards. I mean, there's absolutely nothing here. So a sudden push here, continuing this for now to NosMarkov would actually be really effective. But Deadgame here seems very obsessed with the eastern side. He refuses to give up. NosMarkov went with the Scots. Deadgame Scott that lightning war. Again, I feel like assault support and some target, some other bits out sooner would have been helpful. I mean, hell, if he'd gone for this and just gone for some G45s grenadiers, that'd also been great here for Deadgame. It's just not really the most effective when you just go for it for a big tank. Compared to NosMarkov's been doing a lot better because he went for the doctrine for, not just a big tank. There's always something worth keeping in mind. Obviously, in this case, it's not a case of fear syndrome for Deadgame. It's the more, oh, scheisse, I got rather back into this position. But still, he could have done more with it. I mean, with the place that he had, it was kind of obvious he was going to go for a Tiger anyway. So, something sooner there would have been, I think, a lot more beneficial. Big sweeping push into the east. West side, we got some rash from the which is drawing away some attention from the east. Very good there for Deadgame. If they only done that a bit sooner. Panzer grenadiers upgraded with Panzer 6. Pioneers right up with the Pershing. Pershing, by the way, is really good at wiping units, highly accurate, has good AoE, and is also accurate on the move. The Pershing is really good at dealing with infantry. But yeah, Deadgame there is very close to the Tiger tank. Nasty hit there on the Scot. Rifleman out there for NosMarkov. 21 kills there. Veteran T2. 22 kills. And we got Mother Scott out there for NosMarkov to put more pressure on Deadgame's infantry. Sniper just keeps on picking off those Yankees. There you go, double packs on the Pershing, doing some heavy damage here to the American heavy tank. Another hit there. I believe after the war they actually downgraded to a medium tank. All the way Tiger tank out here for NosMarkov. Adding the Pendle Knight machine gun. Ooh, got the Scot there, NosMarkov. Incautious, perhaps a bit arrogant, overconfident. Punished here by the Wehrmacht and its gun line. And there you go, Pershing, our next victim here. Headquarters moving up. He could risk losing the Pershing here if he does. Oh, he got lucky. Lots of bounces there on the Pershing. Shots reflecting off the armour. Tying on the anti-tank, a lot of damage on the bazooka's going for it though. He's going to try it. He needs to be careful here though. Gets the ambulance. Scott moving up. Need to be careful for that Tiger tank. Still getting some damage in here versus NosMarkov taking out the mortar troop, very good. Might try and aim for the rear stuns. More pack fire here. Careful, careful. Not hit on the Pershing still. Need to be mindful for the HVAC rounds. Even most American players. Oh! Did he use it? No, he didn't. Careful with the Tiger tank, though. Deadgame, you tosser! Pushes Tiger tank way too far. Now, of course, worth noting, with no infantry support. He's got plenty of infantry there to go lose to the Tiger. Not a good play there. Not a good play. I can't really complain about that. That was his own bloody fault. You sent in a Tiger without any infantry support, mate. I mean, if you're complaining too much about RNG, the issue is you're not stacking the odds in your favour, which is, you know, in many cases what strategy and tactics is about. Stacking the odds in your favour through manoeuvres and other fun things, or just raw numbers. In this case, it's sending a one Tiger tank. I mean, obviously RNG could go against him, could also go really in his favour, but, you know, usually you try to set up the situation so the RNG, you know, is more just in your favour. Like, you know, you don't roll the dice, you just, you know, try to set everything up in your favour. And the problem is here, Deadgame essentially set himself in a situation where it was highly dependent on the dice rolls. Again, he had a lot of things that could have made a lot less, but he didn't get in there. He didn't send the grenadiers up with the infantry. He didn't have the panzer grenadiers up. He didn't go up the pack 40s a bit further. So, honestly, that was kind of Deadgame's own fault. I mean, RNG can be nasty, but this was the sort of situation where he just... he invited it by just sending the Tiger when he clearly had other forces that could do stuff. Against NosMarkov, who was keeping everything there, which rather meant he kind of had the advantage. Anyways, I mean... Even then, like, it just, you know... It's just not cool, in a sense. Anyways, trying to destroy the house here. He's going to have to go for the support corner now and get out some Stoogs. I mean, he's still done a lot of damage to NosMarkov. So it's not like it's all bad. But again, the playstyle of Deadgame is a bit awkward at times. Not enough pressuring, which again you have to do as the Wehrmacht. I mean, just not the sort of fact and just, you know, slug it out, patting again because you have all of these smaller support weapons teams and infantry teams, which rather means you're much more vulnerable to, you know, all of these things. You kind of need to play more aggressive, you need to press, you need to make it hard for your opponent to make the decisions he wants to make. You need to control, and you do that through aggression. Smoking off there, nice work by NosMarkov, suppresses a few of the defenders there. Obviously not mechanically, but you know, they can't fire back, which is what I consider suppressed. Those need to fall back, got more Scots away for NosMarkov. He's not too worried about enemy armor, obviously he's just taking out the Tiger tank. So he mostly needs to deal with support weapons and infantry, in which case, you know, double Scots to back up the Pershing is pretty solid. Moving up the east side. Oh, packs there, getting some good hits on the Pershing. No target weak point by the way here. I mean, again, this is sort of one way you could stack the odds in your favour, stunning up the Pershing so that, you know, can't get away. Definitely been a miss there, I think, by Deadgame. Again, target weak point there. Probably could have resulted in the total destruction of the Pershing. But sadly, a bit too slow there by Deadgame, bit too slow. He still needs to put more pressure on the left flank and could at least, you know, try and harass here more. Still needs to get that support McCartney. He's trying to stall for another Tiger tank. I definitely feel that could be a game-losing move. I mean, at that stage, he's gone from, you know, having to go for the Tiger tank because under such pressure to just, you know, straight up Fuhrer syndrome where he just is obsessed with the Tiger tank. Telmarn's up to cover against flanks. You know, it could be useful, I guess. We'll have to see how useful it is. Dodging the smoke, dodging the artillery. NosMarkov there pressuring, using a nice bit of combined arms, very good work. Telmarn's up here running the nose of NosMarkov, hopefully NosMarkov doesn't realise it. Pershing Scott moving up here, artillery firing down there on the German lines. Pack 40 wiped out, bit of bad news there for Deadgame, well, additional bad news. On top of all the other bad news, this gunning got thrown at him. Crewing the Pack 40 here with a Panzer Grenadier. Right in front of the Pershing though, with already low health, obviously doesn't work out. Target weak point finally happening here for him, but can't take much advantage of it, unfortunately. And we got the Scots still laying down fire. It does seem like, though, Deadgame is very much focused on going for another Tiger tank. NosMarkov continues the assault here. Almost got Lieutenant there. Almost. There we go. Gets a wipe. Small victory here for Deadgame in a sea of misery. As NosMarkov just throws everything at the Krauts. And there we go. More down to the Pershing. Can he finish it off? Most likely not. 34 kills. Close victory for the sniper. Really just freaking havoc there on NosMarkov. We could see a wipe. Scott's moving up. And he's still only got... He's got the ace pack 40, which is actually pretty great. But it's low on health, which is less great. But yeah, at this stage, Deadgame is very much obviously stalling for another TIE tank. Another machine gun bunker. I mean, it's nice, it's nice. Cache there being destroyed. Pack 40 being healed up. That's some really decent unit preservation there. The Pack 40 there. Some players just tend to neglect the Pack 40s and all that. But good players try to preserve the veteran of the anti-tank gun because it's really important. I mean, a veteran of the anti-tank gun is an absolute menace to like medium armor and heavy armor. So ensuring that's properly repaired is crucial. So good play there by Deadgame. NosMarkov falls there, certainly bleeding out hard. He's actually got nothing to screen with. But again, he doesn't have to worry about it because again, so far Deadgame has shown that whenever he does have the potential, just sweep ahead, he just tends to sort of dither about. He just tends to hold back rather than just try to push the front as much as possible. Which ironically is kind of opposite of how German doctrine operates. It was actually very much aggressive. It did not like to be on the defensive. In fact, the defensive according to just German doctrine should be seen as a temporary state of affairs. You should always try to attack and press your opponent. So the way Deadgame is sort of playing is the opposite of that. Anyways, another Pack 40. He's stalling for the Tiger tank. He's actually pushing back on NosMarkov. Someone is defending effectively enough to just beat out the infantry, but he's paid a high price in victory points for it, and I feel like at times he's rather missed some good opportunities to just put pressure on NosMarkov and deny him resources and victory points. But there you go. Second, he reinforced something. But there you go. Cancel it, calls on the Tiger tank. Probably the Panzergrenadiers there, the Panzerjägers. He's starting to take certain more effort now. Of course, now NosMarkov might be in for a rougher time again. Lots of elite German infantry. The ace pack crew then, of course, a second Tiger tank. Of course, this got eventually 2 Pershing, which isn't bad either. He's also brought a Sherman tank. We've got the hero sniper here, 36 kills. Rifle obliterated. Carl and Joe shot down by a high explosive shell. Ambulance on the way there for NosMarkov. Sniper creeping ahead. Almost wiped nicely on the tank. Shown by the Tiger tank. Another hit there. Though, as you might notice, once more he's pushing the Tiger far ahead with little to no support. So an indicator that Deadgame may not have learned a lot from the last time he lost the Tiger tank. Which of course in the 10 1 vs 1 is not necessarily going to be immediately learning a lot, but you should be more mindful of that. And he really should be getting spawn cop. He's also got the Stuka close air support ready. If he can sort of set up correctly, he might be able to catch NosMarkov in a bit of a kill zone. Pack 40 minutes, the 2 hanging back here. Panzergrenadiers, Pioneers moving up. And more Pioneers there for Deadgame in the 2nd Panzer Division. NosMarkov in the 3rd Armoured on the watch. Two being fixed out there. We got 9 kills on it. Not bad there, not bad at all. Some decent preservation there with the 2-2. Push for the centre here. Lots of beasts still for NosMarkov. A good push with combined arms could be really powerful. But again, a lot of players ignore that ability. And there you go, smoking off. Note the way he's using it, by the way. Tactical usage, not just reactive usage. He's actually planning ahead with it. Very nice work. Punishing there, pushed back by the veteran fleet Pack 40, which again can easily penetrate and has high rate of fire. Straight into the bazooka teams of the Tiger tank. Lack of support once more. Hitting points in the west. Turn a moment off. Panty coming up, taking a fire there. Got a wipe, but still pretty risky there. Pretty risky. Fuel cache being repaired. Be careful that Tiger. Careful, careful that game. Ah, Tiger taking on something heavily damaged there. He just rolls ahead with no real support. At least the pack's doing some work there. Another shell away from NosMarkov. We might really want to consider some infantry. Succeeding in forcing. And with double pioneers, probably should focus a bit on repairing that Tiger tank. Getting it back up from half health. There we go. Pioneer on the way to support the Tiger to get it fixed up. Fun fact, the Tiger 1 was actually reasonably mechanically reliable as long as it was properly maintained. Of course, it wasn't. Issues started to happen, but otherwise it was actually a really reliable tank. Another fun fact is actually designed to be driven like a car with a steering wheel and all that compared to other tanks, which did have some advantages in some ways. Almost got the victory point here. Sherman out here for NosMarkov. That's 2 Shermans, 2 Pershings, 2 Scots. Pushing ahead here with need to care about bunching all up that close. And there you go. Got another ambulance. My God, the ambulance. Maybe we shouldn't have kept it so close ahead, Captain. No. No, damn you. I'll park my ambulances right next to the front lines. Thank you very much. I'm an American and I believe in freedom. We're not in America, sir. Shut up. Got Sherman flanking up. You do have some Telemines, I think, still left, though most of them are gone and they're finished, which is unfortunate there still. Yeah, the right idea there. Pack 40s aren't quite set up. This is probably support needs to get one moving. There you go, machine gun up here. Massive arm push here from NosMarkov. Target tank opening up. More pack fire here. Pentagon it is being obliterated. Need to turn about the pack 40s. Too slow. It's active fight. Target weak, pointing in the wrong angle. Oh, there we go. Air support called in. He'll right into the midst of the armored assault here. Goodness gracious, heavy damage to the German target tank almost down, smoke screen down here, pack 40 turning back, but it's a bit too late here, too slow there from Deadgame, Pershing up, striking off shots from the Tiger, gonna just bring up pack 40 recruit here, pack 40 turning back, we got a pack grenade from the Pershing on it, pack's being obliterated here, Sherman's almost taken out here by the air support, there we go, 1 Sherman down, the lack of additional arm support here certainly not helping out Deadgame versus NosMarkov. 2's being held in the machine gun bunkers. Target tank going up here. The Sherman abandoned. An absolutely brutal slaughter here. Bunker down. Sherman number 2 down. NosMarkov's forces are brutalized in the attack here. Bun grenade off. We got artillery in here. Rifle almost taken up by the bun grenade. Pack there being run off with. An absolutely cataclysmic assault. A possible Pyrrhic victory here for NosMarkov. Because he lost a lot there. I mean, the thing is, he could easily use Germans to deploy smoke screens to be pushed ahead there for starters. I mean, there were really a lot of things he could have done to mitigate the incoming damage that was in there from Deadgame. Then these are sending out another ambulance away for NosMarkov. Sniper there with 38 kills. Pershing close to Veteran 3. The Tiger is closing on Veteran 2, which is helpful for that one. Pack 4 they're being run off. We got the 2-2 going in here for the pursuit. Can he get it? Probably. Almost taken out there by the Pershing. Pretty close there. Bazooka left behind. Victory points wise. He's still got a bit of bleed there. NosMarkov. Tiger being fixed up. Deadgame seemingly unhappy about the situation. I mean, they'd been faster turn about that veteran 3 pack 40 into the main Allied advance there. He probably could have done a lot more damage, and I imagine the Pershing would not have survived. Seemed like he panicked a bit there. I mean, he got 2 Shermans, he got a Scot. He didn't lose, any tanks because, well, he didn't have more than the Tiger. He didn't lose that. He's also, I think, finally, he actually went for tier 4. That seems a bit silly. I mean, he'd just gone for some Stutzers and Panzers to back up here, for example, faster than just going for the heavy Panzer. He probably would have been in a much stronger position as well, but, I mean, right now, NosMarkov is short on infantry. Of course, they've got the Pershing, and we got the Ace Pershing bow as well there, which is really bad news there for the Tiger tank, which can't really match that rate of fire. Panzer's moving up here. Got here on the Pershing. Sniper there bleeding away, 40 kills. Pearson's moving forwards. Targeting close to need 2. Panzerjäger doing more damage. Sadly doesn't have any packs. Need to retreat those Panzerjägers. Schnell! And wiped. I mean, the Pershing is very accurate. I mean, for everyone that complains about, you know, the Panther being better than the Pershing, they seem to be ignoring one of the main elements of the Pershing, which is it is absolutely absurdly efficient versus infantry. And of course it also gets into up really fast. And Tiger down. But yeah. Close one here for Deadgame. I would say despite some mistakes here and there, but in the end, I think he got tilted, to be honest. He just kept making bad plays, which just, you know, further gave NosMarkov their advantages. So there you go, GG, game over. And Deadgame just leaves. So game over here, brutal fight here. I mean, overall, Deadgame, I think, had some interesting moves, some good moves at times. The promise in part A, he was too defensive, he was too much boxed in at times, which just meant he focused on this rather than trying to, you know, slow down and, you know, stall NosMarkov's resources, which is actually really important, in particular the high levels of play. But you see, of course, this play is just constantly trying to focus on the opponent's resources, and Deadgame just didn't play part of that game, which I think, you know, rather gave NosMarkov a few edges, and particularly again on a map like this where you can quickly spiral out of control. Plus a few other mistakes here and there. Did not think helped out Deadgame a lot. Weaker doctrinal choices. Probably got some more infantry out. I mean, the bunkers were a nice touch here and there, but in the end, he just should have also been able to be more aggressive as NosMarkov. And the heavy Panzer field in particular was a bit of a mistake. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Our links are in the video description and right down there. And if you do subscribe, remember to press the bell. And hell, if you haven't pressed the bell and you subscribe, you do it, because you're more likely to get an update from YouTube about it, since YouTube just, you know, likes to occasionally just screw me over like that. So, you know, do remember to press the little bell there if you subscribe. This is Imperial Linking. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Until tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.